Hey, welcome back to Wine 101, everybody. Today we're going to look at some wines from Portugal again. And as usual on the show, we have a couple of inexpensive wines that I think are really worth buying and drinking. Steve, what have you got to show me?
Well, there's a couple. Last time we were in Portugal, we were in the Douro region, and we're going to a different area in Portugal. We're going down south. One of the wines is from the Setúbal Peninsula, which is south of Lisbon across the Tejo River, where it comes out, Tejo Bay, whatever it's called. And then the other.
And this is one of our $10 specials, guys. This is one of my go-to wines. This is really good.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway, no, carry on.
And the other one is from the Lisbon area. I think it used to be called Extremadura, but they call it Lisboa now. And it's an interesting wine. It's a couple bucks more. It's like $11.98. It's still pretty inexpensive.
And again, we're in Canada, so if you're in the States, that's going to be $4 or $5 cheaper.
I haven't. It probably
Cheaper, a lot cheaper.
Depends on the state. Yeah. Anyway. So this particular wine, what's interesting about this also is that it is a single grape varietal, which, well, in the kind of Portuguese wines that I buy, I never get a single grape varietal. They're all blends of indigenous grapes. And this is a Touriga Nacional, which is one of the main grapes used in making port. Even though this is not grown in the port region, it is that grape.
Should we try one of them?
Sure. Let's start with the cheaper one.
One of my go-to ones.
Yeah. Anyway, did you get? We're okay. Have a bit.
Yeah, just a little splash. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Cheers.
okay. Yeah. What's interesting about one of the things that's interesting about this wine is that it is composed of 3 grapes. And I always thought, and I still sometimes think, that Periquita is a grape variety in itself, sometimes called Castelao. Excuse my pronunciation, anybody who speaks Portuguese. So this is Castelao, Trincadeiro, and Aragonese, like 3 grapes. The Aragonese is actually the same as Tempranillo. In the south of Portugal, they call it Aragonese, and they call it something different in the north. I forget now. But it's the same as that Spanish grape Tempranillo.
And this is a great $10 bottle of wine. It's got so much flavor.
Yeah.
It's just got so many flavors in it.
It's sort of that traditional kind of dark fruit, almost cherry, but it.
I mean, I don't know if it has a lot of nose. I don't know if I have a lot of nose. So.
You've got a lot of nose, buddy.
But it's certainly the flavors, lots of interesting flavors, and great with a meal, great wine with a meal, this Periquita.
It's great before.
And it's good without food, but just on its own, it's very enjoyable. So yeah.
It has a really nice finish. I mean, it's hard to believe this is a $10 bottle of wine.
Okay, here we go, Steve. Here's a fresh glass for you for this next wine.
Yeah. So, this one here, the Cortello, which I have already mentioned, it's a single variety, Touriga Nacional. This is actually I got this just the other day. It's a 2008. So it's got a little bit of age on it already for a $12 bottle of wine. I don't know if you can notice, but the color of this doesn't look all that different, does it? When I decanted them, it seemed quite different to me. But anyway, it almost has a little bit of a purplish cast to it. This wine. There definitely is a different odor, but I don't know how to describe it. It seems not quite as full in the nose. It's still quite pleasant. This wine to me is like it's a really easy drinking wine. I actually, right now don't find it quite as complex or.
It's more subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the Periquita, but it is definitely one of my. Both of these are go-to wines for me, and can I talk about the other?
Absolutely, yeah, bring it up.
Anyway, if
You want to show this here? Yeah.
yeah, this wine. I mean, unfortunately, this is empty, and there's a reason for that. This is a Periquita Reserva, which is about $15.99, $16. So it's half again more than this. It's a very nice wine. They maintain that you can keep this for like 15 years. I've never done that with anything, but also surprisingly enough, for a $10 wine, they say the Periquita original or whatever it's called is you can cellar it for 6 years, which I am actually tempted to do.
And that's
with a $10 bottle of wine.
That's a long time for a $10 bottle of wine, isn't it?
Yeah,
To be
and
able to sell
especially
it
if
for
it's
such-
going to, hopefully, would improve. I would wager that this wine will probably get quite a bit better. It's liable to taste more like this wine in 5 years. This was a very nice wine if you want to spring for a few extra dollars.
This wine here is a bit more subtle in its flavors. I really like these. They're a lot of interesting flavors. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Not everybody might like that. This is nothing like a Merlot or something. This quite different. A lot of interesting flavors. Whereas this is quite a bit more subtle. For somebody that maybe finds this a bit too oomphy, this is probably something that almost anybody would enjoy.
Most Portuguese wines, at least when I first started to drink them, I always felt they were kind of rustic. There was a rustic aspect to it. I mean, perhaps I'm just getting rusticer in my old age, but I find them just really more pleasant than rustic now. But there definitely is an edge to this wine that perhaps and a complexity.
A lot of
I think
bold flavors.
it's because of the combination of the grapes.
Yeah.
There's more complexity to it.
Okay, so is there anything else you want to talk about with these two wines?
No, I think you should just drink them and see how you like them yourself. Is probably the best way to go.
Well, again, Portugal, $10. You can't beat that $10 wine and $12. A couple of really good bargains.
Yeah, really.
Okay, well that's
Great.
That's great. Thanks, Steve. Cheers.
Yeah, never fear, wine is here.
Okay, so.
What else to say?
Okay.
Kind of flat, wasn't it?
Never fear, wine is here. Okay.